Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to I'm not actually sure which part we're on, but welcome to another 2D hack and slash video. In this video, we're going to be adding in a level up system to our character. We're displaying, if you remember in the last video we set up so it would or the last couple of videos, I don't remember exactly which one. We set it up so it would display the character's kills and level up at the top, but there's still no way to level up. We still don't have a UI for that or an object for that. So let's do that. Well, first we'll need to create an experience object, because in this game enemies just kind of explode into experience. So we'll call this O_experience, like that. We want this to start off going in a random direction. So we'll set up well, we can just use direction and speed. So we'll say direction equals random 360, like that. And then speed equals random, I don't know. I think maybe we want to do a random range. Random range, we'll do like 5, well, we'll do like 3 to 6 or something. That should be fine. And then from here, we need to add a step event. So let's add in a step event. And in here, we just need to make it move towards the player. So we'll say, if not instance exists, O_skeleton. Then we'll exit. But if it does exist, we can say motion add. Now the motion add function is built in to GameMaker. It uses the built-in variables like speed and direction, and it adds motion to them, and that's exactly what we want. Well, let's create, it takes a direction and a distance, so or a direction and an acceleration. So let's create a local variable. Well, let's see, how am I naming local variables in this? I don't even remember. Keeping things pretty simple. I see. I'm sure I've got local variables somewhere in here though. So I did a remake of my two most popular GameMaker 1.4 courses, which was my space shooter and platformer courses, and I remade them for GameMaker Studio 2. So I don't actually remember how I set. Because I got used to how I was doing it in those videos, so I don't remember how I've done it in this series. But I want to be consistent. Like, I want local variables to be the same. Oh, I know what will have a local variable in it. A script will. Let's close our windows. And we'll come up into create hitbox. So I'm just naming them kind of normally. Nothing too fancy. So we'll just call this one dir equals point direction. And we want to point from our location to the skeleton's location. Like that. And then we can save our acceleration in a local variable too, if we want. It just makes it more readable. And we'll do move towards direction with an acceleration. Oops. What the heck? That's quite the constant there. Huh. Where is our acceleration variable? There it is. Not sure why it was taking so long to pop up. So now we've got them moving towards the player. Let's also make them collide with each other, and it's going to be actually kind of similar. So copy this code, we'll add an event. We'll add a collision event with ourself, and we'll just paste this code. However, in this case, we're actually going to be moving away from the thing that we're colliding with. And inside the collision event, there's a variable called other, which refers to the thing that we're colliding with. I think I've probably talked about this in previous lectures, but we're going to use that here. And our acceleration is going to be 0.5 here. And we actually want to point from the other object to us this time. So from other to us, like that. Okay. And then we need, that's all done. We need a sprite for this. So we're going to create a sprite inside of skeleton. Just right click, and there's not already one in here, right? I don't see one. So we'll right click, do create sprite. This one we can create by hand because it's really easy. Experience, like this. And we're going to set the width and height. I'm trying to remember how many pixels we need this to be. I think we only need 4 pixels. It's small. So 4x4, press apply, zoom in here, and we'll do middle center. We'll double click on this. Just select white. And then draw basically just a little, kind of like a little plus. Just leave these corners not colored in. And we can, once we get that, we can assign that to our object. So we'll give it the experience. Now we're going to do our level up. And this is going to be obviously in a collision event with the player. So add an event, because that's when we want to collect experience. So collision with the skeleton. Inside of here, we're going to say with other. Might want to make sure it's not gone though. If instance exists, other, exit. If instance not exists, not. And I think I used, in here I accidentally used the pound sign. But either one of those works. You can use the word too. Just, I'll use the word because it's, I think it's better. It's easier to read. Okay, with other. So this is, we're going to be hitting the skeleton. With the skeleton, we can say, so the skeleton needs some variables though. We don't have any variables for this yet. We have a level, but we need to create an experience. Set this equal to 0, and then a max experience. And we'll set this equal to, I don't remember what I set it to. Let me look it up in my reference. 10. We'll just set it equal to 10. Okay, so the idea here being that when our experience reaches our max experience, then we level up. Do we have like health and stuff in here? That's in life form, right? Yeah, health and max HP and stuff. We have a strength too. Let's give our skeleton a strength. Set that equal to 25. And I think those are all the variables we need. So then we can come back into our experience object, and when we can check for a level up. So we check for a level up, we say, well, first we want to add the experience. So let's talk about with real quick though. So we could just do other.experience like this. But we're going to have to write other a whole bunch if we do that, because we basically need to access variables from the skeleton a ton here. So we'd have to write other over and over and over again. Well, if we use with, then we can run some code inside of the skeleton object instead of inside of the experience object. So with other, remember other refers to the skeleton because that's what we're colliding with. So any code we write inside of these brackets right here is going to be inside of the skeleton object. And I'm pretty sure that I'm using, yeah. Okay, so we can say experience, and remember this is the skeleton's experience, plus equals 1. So we'll add 1 experience. Then we can say if experience is greater than max experience. Well, greater than or equal to, actually. Max experience. The source code's wrong because it just does greater than. Level plus equals 1. So we add to our level. And then we say experience equals. We need to make our experience. We need to set our experience again. Experience minus max experience. So this is the case for overflow. We could just set our experience to 0, but what if, well, I guess since we're only adding 1, we're never going to have overflow. But you can imagine a world where you would add more than just 1 experience every time. And if that were the case, like let's say you added 5, then you could potentially have an experience of 15 and a max experience, well, an experience of 14 and a max experience of 10. So you'd be 4 over. If you just set it to 0, you lose those 4 experience points, and that wouldn't be fair. But what you can do is you can set experience equal to experience minus max experience, which would be 14 minus 10, and then your experience would be equal to the 4. This is the leftover, right? Once we've done that, we want to set our max experience up too. We'll say max experience plus equals max experience. So our max experience doubles every time we level up. So it starts at 10, goes to 20, then goes to 40, then goes to 80. It'll double every time. So we've got, that's our experience curve is going to be exponential. Then we're going to do max HP plus equals 5. So we'll add to our health. We'll say HP plus equals max HP divided by 2. I don't actually know why I did that. What the heck? What on earth is going on there? HP plus equals max HP divided by 2. I think we should just, I guess that just makes it so that we don't always recover all the way, all of our health. But, you know, we can just say HP equals max HP. And then we just recover our health all the way every time we level up. Yeah, that seems easiest. Then we're going to add to our strength. So strength plus equals 5. Okay. Now we need our enemy to drop experience when it dies, right? So we'll come into our skeleton enemy. Or our, let's see, our knight enemy. It's really hard that the skeleton isn't the enemy. Even though I made this game and the theme was you are the monster when I made this game for a game jam, it still gets me every time. It's a little bit silly. So do we check for death in the life form? Yeah, we do. We do right here. So let's come into our skeleton. And we're gonna, not our skeleton, our knight. We're gonna have our own check for death here. So you can see we've got our event here. We're gonna right click on this and do override event. That will allow us to have our very own death check inside of the knight, instead of inheriting the one from life form. So we want to say if HP is less than max HP, instance destroy. And that's very similar to what we had before, but we have extra here. We want to create some experience. So we'll repeat. And then we're going to give this knight an experience value for how much experience it should give us. And just for testing, I'm going to set this value equal to a high number. Experience. We'll set it equal to something like 50. just for testing, of course. So then we're going to repeat experience. This is how much experience we're going to create, because it will repeat 50 times this next bit of code that we write. Instance create layer. And then we're going to have an X and a Y here. So let's just do var. Well, let's just put it in here. We can make the room on this one line. X plus random range -4, 4. Y plus random range -4, 4. So this will create them kind of a little bit randomly. And then we'll do instances, the instances layer. And then O_experience. Let's see if this works. So we'll save the game and run it. And let's see if we can get some experience and level up here. Holy cow. It's a lot of experience. You can see it follows us around. Kind of doesn't collide with this very well, does it? Are you guys seeing this? Oh, it's because it never gets destroyed. Well, that's broken. Infinite experience. We need to make sure that we destroy it at the end of this. So we say not inside of the other, because we don't want to destroy the skeleton. So outside of the brackets right here, we'll say instance destroy. Let's try this again. Are you guys seeing how much damage we're doing? Also, the experience seems to maybe move too quickly. So let's change our speed to like 2 and 4 here. Oh, and we maybe want to give it a max speed. So let's give it a max speed. If speed is greater than, let's just create a max speed variable here. Var max speed equals, I don't know, 6. If speed is greater than max speed, speed equals max speed. And there are better ways to do this, but I'm just doing it the easy way, because it's going to be easier for people just learning. Okay. There we go. That looks much better. And we also want to give this, we want to make sure that this is displayed on top of the ground, because it looks weird when it goes into the ground like that. So let's come into our graveyard room, and we're going to create a new instances layer and name it effects. So I'm going to do F2 and name it effects. And this will be on top of our other layer. So if we come into our enemy knight, instead of creating on the instances layer, we'll create the experience on the effects layer. And that will allow us to have it drawn on top of the ground. There we go. That's much better. Get our experience. And you guys can see we're leveling up too. Although our kills didn't work. And that's because I think our life form... How do we detect kills again? We got it working last time. Enemy knight. I don't even remember. Huh. instance exists, skeleton and creator, skeleton dot skills plus equals kills plus equals 1. Minus equals damage, right? We're subtracting our damage. And damage is calculated. Let's see. Create hitbox. Damage is calculated by damage. And then the skeleton, when we actually use our attack, it creates a hitbox, which does damage right here. But for some reason, all of a sudden we broke stuff, right? Like kills aren't working. And we kill it in one hit. What's going on? It seems like that happened when we overrode the end step event. For our night. Huh, that's interesting. I wasn't paying attention though. Like, what if we change this event to user event 0 for now and just see what happens? Do we kill it in one hit still? No. Oh my goodness. Look, I have if hit points is less than max hit points instead of less than 0. Oh my goodness. So let's do change event back to end step event. You guys probably saw that, right? You probably caught that. That was a silly mistake. There we go. Now our kills are working again and our experience is also working. Perfect. So we got experience and leveling up working. Thank you guys so much for watching this lesson. That's going to be it for this one. I will see you guys in the next one. If you like this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later.